Hello, my name is Pavel, and welcome to the part 3 of our Serendipity Booksellers C++ software development project based on the popular college exercise for C++ programming. This is part 3, and this is from chapter Expressions and Interactivity. Now we're going to be making some changes to our programs that we did so far. The first one that we will be doing is to change the main menu a little. It's not gonna change the options or anything, but we are going to modify the mainmenu.cpp program so it lets the user enter a choice from the menu. Right now it simply displays the menu and it says enter your choice, but we don't capture that yet. So the choice will be a number in the range 1 through 4, so it can be stored in either an integer or a character variable. The Cashier module will have some changes as well. We are going to actually add some point of sale functionality to the project. Currently the Cashier program displays a simulated sales slip, which is just blank for now. We are going to modify it so it will display the following data. It will display the date, which will be in the format of month, day, and 2-digit year. And they say that it should be entered as a string and stored in a string object variable. Then there will be the quantity of the book being purchased, which will be an integer. The ISBN number of the book being purchased, which is gonna be a string because it contains hyphens, not just numbers. The title of the book, which obviously will be a string, and the unit price of the book, which is going to be the float point variable. This is how it's gonna look. This is what the user will enter. It will enter the date, the quantity, the ISBN, the title, and the price. And then once it's entered, we will actually do some calculation. We will calculate the total, we will add the tax to it, and then we will display the total sale, including the tax. And they want us to make sure that the dollar amount is displayed in fields of 6 spaces with 2 decimal places of precision. They should always be displayed in fixed point notation, and the decimal point should always appear. So you can see it here when it says 39.90. If you get like a 39.9000, we will truncate it to a 39.90. So it's numeric and it's money. So it looks like actual money being displayed. And this is the final slip for the user. Now the inventory database menu screen, we already have it set up, but again, just like with the main menu, we will enable the user to enter a choice from 1 through 5. And the same with reports, except it's going to be the choice that ranges from 1 through 7. Now none of these will be verified yet or validated, meaning that if I enter number 8, for example, in the reports menu, it will still take it. This is just simply to make sure that we are on the path to accept user input. So yeah, this is it. This is what we're gonna be doing, so let's get right to it. Okay, so this is our project as we left it from the previous video. So the first thing we're gonna do is to change the main menu. They want us to enable the user to enter choice 1 through 4, and they want us to store it as an integer or a character variable. I'm gonna do an integer because it's 1 through 4. It could be as well a character because we are not gonna perform any mathematical operations against this input. It's simply a choice. So, but anyway, I'm gonna do an integer. So I'll just do integer choice. And that's the choice that the user will make. So if I go over here, after it says enter your choice, I will simply do a cin, and I will capture the choice that the user made. And that's all. That's all for the main menu. There really is nothing to it. Let's test it. Remember, we have these couple of main methods. Actually, each of these have a main method. So there's another way to do this. You could simply right-click. If you use Visual Studio, you could right-click any of these, and you could exclude from project. In other words, it would not run, and you could have multiple main methods. But I'm gonna do it this way, like I did before. So I changed this to main method, let's build it, and let's run it and see. All this is going to do is wait for the user input. So doesn't have any functionality yet. Again, like I said before, if the user enters a wrong number, or if he enters any character other than 1 through 4, then it won't do really anything. It will just fail, basically, because we only supposed to get 1 through 4, but we are not validating it in any way yet. So when I run it now, all we get is the same main menu, and it asks for the choice, and now it actually is blinking there waiting for us to input anything. So let's do 1, press enter, and nothing happens, obviously, because this is the only change so far. Now if I enter, let's say, B, which is totally not valid, it's not even an integer, it still goes through. The reason is it's an invalid entry, obviously. We will need to make sure that we validate the input later on, but it goes through because B is still, there's an integer representation of each character on the keyboard. So basically that's why it doesn't error out, it doesn't blow up the program, because character and integers, characters can be represented as an integer as well. Okay, so this is our main menu, and I'm gonna just actually, never mind. I'm gonna do the same thing for the reports that they want us to do, to make sure that we can enter any values, but this time 1 through 7. And it's the same thing. I'm gonna create an integer called choice, and over here when it says enter your choice, we will simply do cin and get the user's choice. Let's test that. I'm just gonna make this a main method again, and my main menu, I will do 5. So if I run it now, our reports screen should pop up, because that's the one that has the main menu, and it did. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I enter again 7, just like before, it simply goes through and says to continue. And finally, the same thing is gonna be the inventory menu. The same thing, integer choice, and over here we will do cin choice. We could test that just to make sure that we didn't introduce any problems. So if I run it now, I should get, oops, wrong shortcut. If I run it now, we should get the inventory menu method, and that's it. 1 through 5. Let's do 5, and it goes through. So these are the easy changes, but the main change is for the cashier module, because now we will actually have to do some calculations and get the input as well. So yeah, let's get to it now. So this is our cashier module, cashier.cpp, and we have one include here for the IO stream, but we will need to import a few more libraries. The first one will be, we will include the IO manip, and the one we will also need is string. Oops. So we will do include, and we will include string, because we are going to be working with strings as an input, and we will be formatting those strings as well. So that's why we need these two libraries. Now, one thing we can do to calculate the total sales, there's a tax on each book that is being sold, and that's a constant. The tax is just given for the same thing, the same number for each book. So we can do a constant, and it's gonna be a double because the tax is over here it's 6%. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call it sales tax, and I will do it 0.06, which is basically 6% sales tax. All right, so that's our tax, and now we need to introduce some variables. They want us to enter a date. They want the user to enter a date for the screen, and it's gonna be a string date. Another one is another string is the ISBN, so string ISBN. Another, actually no, there would be an integer for the quantity, how many books are being sold of each book or each title. And actually there is one more string. The one string is the title of the book. All right, so we got the integer for the quantity, and then there's gonna be a couple of doubles. So it's gonna be a double. First will be the price of the book, then there's gonna be the double subtotal, which is the total sales before the tax is being applied. Now double is gonna be the tax. Now don't confuse this tax with this one. This one is the percentage of the tax. This is the actual number or the money that we pay on taxes. So if I spend $100, the sales is 6%. Sales tax is 6%, so our tax would be $6. And finally, we need a double for total, which is gonna be the total sales, including the taxes. Okay, so let's do. This is our form, or this is our output that we're supposed to have, if you remember from the last video. So right after the title or the header, Serendipity Booksellers, I'm going to actually do something like I'm going to make sure that it is clear that this is a Cashier Module, because this is actually on the screen that I forgot to do last time. This is what they wanted us to do. So it will simply say Serendipity Booksellers, and then under it will say Cashier Module, so we know what module we're in. But now we're gonna get some input from the user. The first thing they want us to do is to get the date, so we will do enter date, and we will do cin. Actually, no, we don't do cin this time. The reason is that we need there might be spaces there, or there might be you know, there will be obviously some slashes and dashes, and you know, it would be something like 02 or 20 something and 2016 or something like that. So we need to capture the whole line, because that is the actual date that the user enters. Again, we are not validating it. The user could just type whatever they want. They could just type my name is Pavel, and it would still take it, because we are storing it as a string. But to get the whole line, we will do the getLine command, or we will use that, and we will we will get the input from cin, and we will pass it to our date variable. So this one, it gets the whole line of text that the user enters. It's the input, that's why the cin, and it is being passed into our date variable over here. Next thing we are going to get is the quantity. So we will do a cout quantity of the book. And This time it's just a number that the user enters. It's in fact an integer, so we will do a cin. We don't need to capture the whole line. In fact, there shouldn't be any spaces anyway. Quantity. And again, we are not validating it. We are simply blindly believing that the user is entering everything correctly at this point. We will be validating all this in the little later assignments. So we have quantity. Now, the user enters a quantity and then he presses an enter. Well, first let me just do this. Let's do cout. Next one will be title. And I'm sorry, not cout title. It will say title. We will ask the user for the title. And we will do again, this is a title can have multiple words with spaces and everything, so we can do get line, just like before, cin, and we will store the user input into our title variable. And let's do the cout price, which is the price of the book, and we are just doing cin because the user enters only one number, and we'll store it in our price variable. Okay, so now we have the information. Now we can do the calculations. So we can do subtotal first. So our subtotal variable, which is a double. Actually, it's a double. So our subtotal equals, we will simply multiply the quantity of the books being sold by the price. So quantity times price. So that's our subtotal. We'll add a tax to it. So our tax equals the subtotal, whatever the price is before taxes, and we will add a tax to it, to the total. But the tax is simply subtotal multiplied by the sales tax, because the tax is 6%. So it will calculate a 6% of whatever the subtotal is. Again, if the subtotal equals 100, the tax will equal to 6. 100 multiplied by 0.06 equals 6, obviously. So that's our tax. And finally, we'll put it all together into our total, which will equal to the subtotal plus the tax. So these are our calculations. Okay, so and there's gonna be a little problem here. I already know that because again, we are getting a quantity here, which is an integer, and it's gonna pass because we're still asking for another input after that. So there's a reminder of the enter character when after we press the enter key on the keyboard is going to be passed into a title actually. So what we need to do here, we need to ignore the last one, so the last keystroke basically. So ignore, cin ignore, and that is gonna ignore the new line character when enter is pressed. Otherwise it would be passed right into our title here. Over here we don't have to do it because price is the last thing that we are entering. If there was anything after that, we would again have to do the cin ignore to ignore the enter. Okay, so this is our form here. Now we're going to actually display the data to it. So over here we having the date. So we have the date. We will do a space, and we will enter the date that the user actually entered. So it will simply say date, and then it will output the actual date that the user entered over here. So this is our header for quantity, ISBN, title, and so forth. So let's display the quantity first. So over here I will do cout, And now we have to start formatting it, so it kind of falls into columns, with all these tabs in between the headers. Otherwise everything will be kind of crammed together. So I'm going to start formatting the output now. So cout, we will start with the left, and we will do set width to 14. Tab, yeah, about that. Maybe it will be a little less or more. We'll see. And then we will do the ISBN after that, and a tab. So what this is gonna do, we have the ISBN. Actually, I forgot the quantity. I'm doing the ISBN here, but before we enter the ISBN, we need to enter the quantity. Quantity is first. You can see the header for quantity is first. So we will do our cout, and it's right on the at the edge of the screen, so we don't have to really format it in any way. We'll simply output quantity, and then we will do one tab, so it matches this tab over here. So this cout after that is gonna put it in the same line, and it's gonna match the ISBN formatting over here. The next thing we have is the title. So after the ISBN, we will display, let me just show quantity, and actually display quantity, display ISBN, and over here, right after that, we are going to display the title. So it's gonna be a cout. Once again, we start with left, so it's all in one line, and it follows the same flow as the headers. And the title can be fairly large, so I'm gonna do 25 for the set width, and we will pass the title to it. And after that, we will do the tab. And one thing after the title, if you notice, is a price. So right after that, what we can display is a $sign, because right after the title we will display the price, so we can put the $sign right in front of it. So this one displays the title. And now let's do the price. So cout. This one is gonna be fixed, because we want the fixed set of precision. We want the zeros to appear neatly. Let me just show you the actual output on this. Where is that? Over here. See, this is how we are trying to format it. We're trying to push everything in one line with some space in between the $sign. The number itself will be actually moved to the right. That's why we put the $sign with the line of the title, and then this number 1995 is pushed to the right a little. So it's gonna be formatted on the column to the right, all of these numbers. So we have our fixed. We will definitely want to show our show point. We want these decimals to be visible. We'll format it to the right, and we will set the precision to 2. So what this is going to do is going to show the decimal point. There's gonna be 2 decimal places. So even if it's 1900, it will actually show 19.00, not just 19, and it's gonna be formatted to the right. All right, so that's the display price. And well, not actually display price. This is just to format the numbers for now, but now we're gonna be displaying the price. If you look at it, this is basically setting up everything for our numbers, which are the prices, but it's also subtotal and tax and everything. So it's setting up the decimal points in the decimal places, and it's setting up the $sign for the price. So now we can actually display all the numbers, including tags and subtotals, without needing to setting up the show point or set precision or any of that, because we already set it up kind of globally. So we are doing the price now, so it's gonna be cout. The price, let's do set width for 6, and we'll show the price. And just like we did before on this line, for the next number, which is going to be the total, we are going to show the $sign right after the tab. So we will tab off and do a $sign for the price, for the total. And so this is the display price, and I'll comment this to set up numbers number formatting right there. Okay, so we have the price and now the total. Actually, wait a second. The total, I think, was on the bottom. Yeah, it would be total is on the bottom. This is the total just for the sale, because we only have one book. So it's basically the subtotal. That we are showing right now. So we could do our cout, and again it's a number, so set width we'll do 6, just like with the price, and we will show the subtotal. Display subtotal in line, which is basically our total for each book. Now, right now we are only to have one book entered, but there could be multiple books with each of the totals calculated as simply price multiplied by the quantity, and then together they will give us a subtotal. So don't confuse this. Just because there's only one line, there could be more books listed down, and each of them has its own total, which is quantity times price. So that's our subtotal, which is basically a total at this point. And so these are all these is the one line. So this is the inline information, I guess, or data. And now we will do the calculated totals, which are the totals that show over here. So we will do our calculated totals, and we will do cout, and we will start with as you can see how it is formatted over here. It's kind of spaced out, so we will do bunch of tabs. So we will do, I don't know, let's do 2 of them, and subtotal, that's gonna be the title or the header, and let's do a bunch of tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's do 6. And then there's gonna be the number, so we will put the $sign again, because now we will actually output the subtotal. So cout set width 6 subtotal, which is our variable that holds the actual subtotal, and on a new line. So what are we trying to accomplish here is to write a subtotal header over here, then a bunch of spaces, and format it under the total all with the same under the same column. So the same with the text and total. So our cout for the tags, it's gonna be just bunch of tabs again. Let's do 2, and then we will type the header, which is tags, and right after that we will do more tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and tags is a shorter word than subtotal, so I'll do one more tab, and again that's going to be a $sign after that, because now we are going to output the tags. So set width 6, and we will output the tags, and a new line. new line. And finally, let's do the total, which is gonna be very similar. 2 tabs. Let's write total, and then a bunch of more tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know. Let's try with 6. See where it goes. $sign for the actual number. Set with, and we will output our total. And again, some new line, except this one will do 2 because this is the last thing that we are outputting. So this is what I can now delete this because I already formatted it over here. This was just to display it, but this one also displays the actual numbers. So I'm just gonna delete this like that. Okay, and that should actually do the cashier. Let me change the main method to main. Which one was the last one I had? 7. I'll just output this as 3. All right, and let's see if our cashier module works and how it shows. So it's building it, and okay, it popped up. So enter date. So we will do 12. Well, let's do today's date, which is 1/17/2016. Quantity of the book. Let's do the same thing like what they have in the sample over here. So they have quantity 2, just bunch of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers and 3 dashes in between for the ISBN. And title, Pavel's Awesome Book. I think I forgot to ask for the ISBN, I have a feeling. So the price is $19.95, so it's $19.95. And it kind of formatted it, but it's a little off. The ISBN is not even being entered because I forgot to actually ask for it. So this all has to be formatted a little better. But yeah, basically you can see that the total is 42.29, which is 42.29 over here. The tax is 239, which is over here. So the calculations work. It's just the formatting, and I need to ask for the ISBN. So when I go to cashier over here, when I ask for the quantity, when do I? Yeah. Let's ask for the ISBN as well. So right over here, before I ask for the title, I will do cout ISBN, and we will do our, since this is with dashes and everything, I will do getLine like we did before. So we will do cin, and we will store it in our ISBN variable. So we have that, and am I displaying ISBN? I'm displaying quantity. Yes, I'm displaying ISBN here as well. So let me see the formatting a little. And I think the first thing, after we calculate the subtotal, since it wasn't on the new line, I think that's what I need to do. So when it's a new line, actually it's on the new line, never mind. But I'm pretty sure the total was too crowded, so I put another tab right there. Well, let me run it again, just to see if it's formatted any better. So enter the date, 1/17/2016, quantity 2, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and title, some title, and price will be $19.95. So now we have the ISBN displayed, that's correct. This subtotal obviously should be on the actually new line with the tax and total, so that's actually wrong. So it was wrong. And okay, all right. Let me make the title a little wider. Instead of 25, let's make it 26. And over here, when I'm displaying the total, it's subtotal for now, again, because we're only doing one line. But when I'm displaying this number, I want actually spaces in between. Otherwise, this subtotal just runs into it. So over here, when it says subtotal, I will add some new lines, 3 new lines. So let's try again. Hopefully this time it will be better. And 1/17/2016 to blah 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 and 1995. And that's not too bad. There's a little space over here that I need to push the total to the right over here, but everything else seems to be actually neatly lined up. You can see that it's calculated to the right or moved to the right. So all I need is the total of the sale of that book. So let's do that quick. And all I have to do is see how I have the tab and then the $sign right away, and after that the number would go right after that. I want it spaced out. Remember, I want the number to be kind of lined up to the right and a little away from the $sign, and over here as well. Just like I have it over here and over here and over here. I want these spaces between the $sign and the actual number. So when I run it now, that should actually maybe do the trick. So 1/17/2016, 2 books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, title best book ever, and price is $19.95, and there you go. So you have it all lined up. We have the subtotal, we have it lined up to the right. The calculations are correct, you can tell even from the sample. $39.90, $239, and $42.29, which is correct. So the calculations are okay, the formatting is okay, the information entered is not validated, but when it's entered correctly, calculation is being actually performed correctly as well. Okay, so this is all for this particular assignment, for this exercise, and I hope I will see you in the part 4 of our Serendipity Booksellers project. I'll see you then.